Welcome to the Step Over podcast. My name is Josh. Thank you so much for joining. On today's episode, we're here with a sports writer, a scholar, an athlete, a YouTube Twitch star, just a budding media personality. The multi-talented Jasmine McKnight is with us. Jasmine, welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me again. This is so exciting.
Absolutely. It's great to see you and to, chat soccer again. For those who need to get caught up, Jasmine is the co-editor-in-chief for the Fulcrum, the University of Ottawa's English language newspaper. Jasmine, you were on the pod late fall last year after the GG's women's soccer team had their season cut short in the OUA playoffs. So it's been a minute. How's your summer been? Like your off season from university life?
Yeah, it's been an intense summer, I would say, stepping into a new role at the Fulcrum. I was the sports editor for multiple years, so things are a little bit different now. Luckily, I have a wonderful co-editor-in-chief with me to kind of help balance things out. But then in addition, I have been super focused on Ultimate Frisbee this year. My club team played in Worlds. And then this past weekend, we had Canadian Nationals. I'm a bronze medalist. So
I saw that there was a medal of some color, and it's always hard to tell between bronze and gold. Like,
I strategically did not specify.
I wondered. I did wonder about that.
But yes, bronze medal. Happy to end the season like that, and super excited for the GG season coming up. Fall sports are very fun.
So much going on. So let's talk a little bit more about the ultimate though, because we talked about it a bit last time, and like it's such a cool sport, and I cannot throw a frisbee, but I like the look of the sport. It's great to watch. So you got bronze at the nationals,
yeah,
and your club team, it's called Stella, right?
Stella, yeah.
Okay, so it could beat at the Worlds. How was that experience? Like, was that nearby? Did you go abroad?
Worlds was actually for us in Ohio. Okay. At a place called Lebanon.
Okay.
Lebanon. Yep.
Not Lebanon, Lebanon.
Not Lebanon, Lebanon. Okay. Just outside of Cincinnati, but I never actually got to go to Cincinnati. We just kind of drove around it. So yeah, that was actually a crazy experience that I at the time it was very emotionally intense. It was kind of just a week of
Cincinnati has that effect on people.
Truly, it was just a week long of dedicating our lives to frisbee, and you're just in a hotel for a week, and you're not really talking to people that you would normally talk to every day. So it was definitely hard in that way, but then also the coolest thing ever to play against people from different countries and interact with people. Why would I ever meet those people in any other situation? It was super cool. Traded some jerseys, got some cool stuff, and honestly just we ended up getting 29th, which when you put in the world at the end sounds way better than just saying 29th.
Because that's out of what, 1,000 teams, probably.
However many teams exist,
10,000 teams, and you're 29th. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was just a cool experience, and I'm only 22, so hopefully when Worlds comes around again, I'll get to go again, and maybe it'll be somewhere cooler than Ohio, but
what, you didn't want to go see the mighty what's a place in Ohio?
Exactly. What's a place in Ohio?
There's a river that caught on fire because it was so polluted a few decades ago. That
seems the appropriate landmark.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe someplace different would be good next time.
To be honest, though, the facility and everything was cool. Lebanon did a great job of hosting us.
Good job, Lebanon. Okay. For an ultimate player, what's the best exercise to help you get really good at that sport? Is there something that ultimate players work on?
I think my team specifically, we try to do a lot of footwork stuff. There's a lot of directional cutting and everything. So actually
rolled ankles a concern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I came out of this nationals with a couple injuries. It's actually, it's quite intense, especially when you're on turf and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I would say, like, fun fact, like, I think soccer players like translate pretty well to ultimate because of like the footwork and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So how are you feeling in your role this year as the co-editor in chief of the Fulcrum? Because that sounds like a lot of responsibility now falling on your shoulders.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit nervous. I feel confident because I've like been there for so long, but then again, I've only been in the sports section, so I'm hoping that everything else just like falls together, and that I'm like capable of like using that knowledge and like knowledge that I've gained from like people I've worked with previously to help teach newer staff members in their roles. But I'm also excited to like see like what kind of ed board I have and like the kind of content we're putting out. I've made it my co-editor in chief, and I have made it pretty clear that we want to have more of a social media presence this year than we had previously. So hopefully we can do like some contests on our Instagram and things like that. Yeah. I'm also like pretty sad in a way to like not be the main person in the sports section. But I'm also super excited for like a new person to take over and see what kind of like ideas they'll have, and you know, I'll step in when I need to.
Okay. Is there going to be like a little bit like, now that you have, you know, like as your paper now, like is there going to be a bit more sports content in the Fulcrum for the next year?
Yeah, I think so, because it's definitely just going to be hard for me to not like want to like partake and cover events like that, which I think will be good anyways. I think a lot of sports like deserve more coverage than there was in the past. It's hard to do as one person when there's so many teams and so many games throughout the year. So yeah, I definitely think there will be more sports content coming out, and hopefully more content overall. Our team is a little bit bigger this time around.
Okay, right on. Well, that's really exciting. Are you excited? Like again, like I know you're only 22, but like you're the co-editor, you're like the senior member there. Are you excited at the prospect of like bringing along, you know, some fresh-faced 18-year-old to do the sports content now?
Yeah, I definitely like, when I got elected, I thought back to like when I started and I had no idea what was going on. I'd never written a sports article in my life. I just, emailed, can I volunteer? And
you were just a walk-on.
Yeah, I really just hit them up because I was just like, I don't know how to get started, so let me just try. And yeah, the sports editor at the time actually sent me to a women's soccer game, and that was the first thing I covered. And I just really liked it right away. So hopefully I can have like some sort of effect on whoever is taking on the role next, where, I can teach them some tricks as previous sports editors did for me.
And send them to a women's soccer game as their first assignment. Kind of continue that tradition.
Yeah. Get them hooked early.
Exactly. And what a great way to transition to what we're here to talk about is GG's women's soccer. Always one of the best programs in the country, nay, the world.
The
world.
We're still riding that 100%.
The still defending world champions.
Yeah.
So they kick off their 2022 season on, I got it written down here. Hold on. September 3rd, away at U of T. Yep. And not only is the program good at winning, but it turns out it's very good at producing professional players. And maybe you can fact check me, but I believe no other school has had more women's players go on to pro careers than the University of Ottawa, like in terms of schools within Canada.
I don't have that fact on hand, but I definitely believe it, especially like recently, just like scrolling through their socials. It's always like sign. And it's like, chill, guys.
Maybe
this is not fair.
Of like active players, maybe. I think like, I'm not sure if you follow WSOC.ca on Twitter. Anyone who's not following, that's like the go-to for following Canadian women's soccer, anything. Really good account. I think I might have seen it there that the University of Ottawa is just like a professional women's soccer player factory. Like, do you know why Ottawa is able to produce so many players that like kind of are able to go on to success in at the professional level?
I mean, I think just like from observing, it's one of those things where you have a successful program that players want to come be a part of, which gives the school the opportunity, or the program the opportunity, to kind of pick which players they think are a good fit for not only the team, but like to go on and find success. So I think that's definitely like a huge factor. And just from being like around the team and watching games and, you know, being able to interview and talk to players, there's just been good leadership is what it seems. So I would say just like having those good personalities to lead like those younger players and help them develop kind of just like pushes them forward into what becomes like professional careers and opportunities elsewhere.
Because yeah, like, you know, it seems like they also just, you know, attract good players. Like I've found that you know, a lot of schools, you know, focus heavily on players from the area that they're from, you know, but Ottawa seems to have like a lot of players from, you know, the Toronto area, from like Quebec. Like it's more of a destination school for, you know, for that program.
Yeah, for sure. I actually get excited sometimes when I'm looking at the roster, because I'm seeing people from Saskatchewan and I'm like, oh, that's so exciting.
Really? Any names that you want to name drop right now? To rep Saskatchewan?
Gugan, she's from Saskatoon, and I've talked to her a couple times. She came in during COVID, so maybe right before COVID. So okay. I don't know if she's like gotten to play much yet, but I did chat with her when she was coming in, and just as like a rookie profile. Yeah. So it was pretty exciting to like see that, you know, someone from Saskatchewan is in Ontario. That's super exciting. But yeah, like you said, like a lot of, yeah, they've made it. A lot of like Toronto, and I think like even like Quebec a little bit.
Because yeah,
and then also just like a nice little core of Ottawa players as well. So
okay, because yeah, I think Cassandra Prevost, she's like I may have butchered her name just now, but I think she's from like she's the Montreal area.
Yeah,
Laval or something.
Something random.
She's playing like PLSQ with I want to say AS Laval or something like that, and it was doing, I think, great, getting some bangers there. So yeah, that's a really nice thing for the program to be able to say about itself, like, you know, producing all these professional players. So the season last year, the regular season went really well by all accounts, but you know, got cut short against the damned Queens. So you know, obviously the team wants to improve from that OUA semifinal defeat. Are there any areas that the team needs to improve on from last season?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's maybe a mental thing, just like when the team actually does get scored on and is like in a situation where, okay, we need to, you know, actually score and like win a game or else we're done. Just because it has been an unfortunate trend. The last couple of years to lose out in that semifinal game, OUA. Yes. So I don't know if it's maybe a mental thing where they just kind of have to like stay in it and close out these games and close out the OUA portion of the season and make it to a nationals. Because I think once they get onto that, you know, championship stage, I do think again that like we should have a winning team. Yeah, we'll see. It's also interesting to see like the change. There was a bit of turnover this year, I would say, with like key members of the team like Haley Walsh and Emma Lefebvre no longer in the picture. Obviously they have kind of like been producing for the team for quite some time now, but then like we were just saying, there's so many good players coming in, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how the team meshes and what we're looking at this year, but I'm pretty confident that it's another strong team.
Okay. Are there any, for fans, for people who want to know more about the upcoming season, that like, you know, maybe they haven't been paying attention to the GG's program before, but want to get into it? Are there any storylines for the upcoming season that might be interesting to watch?
You know what? Like we mentioned Queens, I think we have like a really exciting situation where the home opener is against Queens.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a bit
rematch.
of like a bit of a rematch, kind of like a revenge match to start, like not start the season, but start the season at home. And I think that would be like a really good game for people to come out to. I think like Ottawa should be coming out like flying, like wanting to win that game, especially because I feel like Queens is also going to be like another pretty good team this year. As for storylines, like I'm pretty excited about like players coming in. Not only new players, but there has been some like interesting signings with like senior players as well. I don't know if you saw, we're getting Kayla Kyle from Bishop.
Okay.
And she got a handful of recognitions last year in the RCQ, like first team all-star. I think she got some sort of like leadership award, and I'm pretty sure she also was acknowledged on maybe the second team all-Canadian for U Sports. So I believe she's a defensive player. So, you know, I think that's super exciting because Gigi's like, we've always had firepower, like scoring. So like that's an interesting addition that unfortunately like we won't be able to have for a long time, but exciting to see for this season. And then another signing I saw was Sierra Dunn from Waterloo, who also played 4 years. So I think like just kind of and I keep saying it, but just all the talent that's here is like a storyline in itself. And then I want to like kind of mention one more player in, she was just at the U20 camp. She didn't make the final roster, but
they might have been able to use her. I think I know who you're talking about.
Sadie.
Yeah. Sadie Seidy-Eckenberg.
Mm-hmm. And well, like now, what is she gonna do now? Like, definitely another exciting player to watch.
I feel like she's gonna kill it this year.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, how like if we're gonna cheer for a team, I feel like you should be cheering for the Gigi's. Like, I might be biased, but there's
like no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like there's so many like cool players that have these like not random, but like cool backgrounds, and they're all just like playing the same place.
Right? Like that's what we were kind of saying before. Is that it's really like a destination. Really, I mean, you know, so Sadie's from Ottawa. She's maybe one of the best players coming out of Ottawa right now. But the GG's program is just attracting, you know, these players that have played for years with other schools, and they're if like I don't know about you, but it seems to me like they're saying like, oh, I want to win now, and so I'm gonna go to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and it's like hopefully all these people, all these players are what it takes to finally like get back into that OUA championship game and eventually to the championship tournament. Please.
And it's in Quebec City. It's so close.
Yeah, truly. I think I would I don't see why not.
Okay. So we've talked about a few players already, but I wanted to ask about specific players you think fans should be watching.
Yeah, I mean, now that we just like had that moment about Sadie, like like you must pay attention to her. I also kind of like want to mention Kat Delev, just because she's also been around for a while and we are lucky enough to get her for another year. I just feel like she's just consistently been a good player on the team. Trinity Esprit, I think she was rookie of the year in, I don't remember if it was OUA or U Sport, but she's like a super athlete. So I think that's another young player that you could just, you know, take a look at this year and maybe become a fan of for years to come.
Yeah, she won a bunch of awards. I think I'm Googling this now.
I just looked it up. So
okay.
UA East All-Star, U Sports Academic All-Canadian, Indoor First Team All-Star. I don't know how I forgot this. She got MVP at the World Cup, at the FISU World Cup.
She was the World Cup MVP.
Yeah. How did failed to remember that for some reason? But yeah.
Okay. That's on both of us.
She's got a handful of things, and this will be, I think, her third year with the team. So I imagine she's got an upward trajectory, and we can expect more from her. And you mentioned her earlier, actually. Cassandra Provost would be another one to keep your eyes on. I was going to say, I think she actually got OUA East Rookie of the Year this past year. So it's like you have a handful of young stars and then like a handful of senior, like approaching the end of their university career stars. Like if I could sit here and give you a reason to pay attention to almost everybody on the team.
There's a ton of like star power.
Yeah, it's not fair.
But that's also like that translates to high expectations though, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, we're just talking about Cassandra, like, you know, she's playing in the PLSQ, which has lots of players well older than than her and like a lot of her teammates. And I believe she came in second in the PLSQ Golden Boot competition.
Damn.
Like, yeah, for being in her second year, that's a pretty good stat for her. Now, Kat Delev actually came up in one of my last episodes, which was with Haley Walsh, who you mentioned.
Right.
So I've never met Kat. I've heard that she's a character though from Haley. She said that she would be a good podcast guest.
She was like my go-to interviewee on that team for a while, I would say.
Okay.
Just because sometimes I'd need just like some quick quotes, like last minute stories, or couldn't catch somebody after the game. So she just became a reliable source, I would say. But one of my like most memorable interviews was actually with her after the World Cup. Her and I'd also talked to Michaela Morton.
Another pro now.
Yes. Another just superstar everywhere.
Yeah.
But she's just kind of goofy. Like just like sweet, kind of goofy, like.
Okay, so Kat Delev, if you're listening, I'm probably gonna ask you onto the podcast at some point. Yeah. These are two people who make it sound like you'd be a good guest. So
yeah, definitely. I just find her like, I maybe put her on the spot with the language situation. She like primarily is French. Okay. So I think sometimes it was just like little silly trip ups, and it was just like really enjoyable to speak to her. Like she's just like a very positive presence also. Yeah, I really like her in my like limited interactions with her. And then as far as like actually like the game goes, she's just like another player who has like a list of recognitions, awards. And like I said before, like I feel that she's been pretty consistent in her contributions to the team. I believe she's still serving as a captain. She was last year.
I was about to ask if she was like kind of seen as one of like the leaders this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What are the 3 biggest games in the calendar in your opinion?
Oof. I think, like I mentioned before, that Queens game is going to be a really big one. Being on home turf for the first time in the season, and then playing against, you know, the team that, you know, made them end their previous season. So that will be a big one. That's on September 9th, so just over 2 weeks. I will definitely be there. Everybody should be there. So the Carleton games, I think really are just like a big question mark for some reason. Playing against Carleton seems to produce like some strange results. I think last year they split over that weekend.
Surprising, right?
Yeah, because Carleton's not all that strong. So that was like super strange. So I think those games again are like in town, so you could see them live, but also are just like, I really want to know what happens this year, especially if we're seeing a similar thing where the GGs are just, you know, rolling teams. And I saw that Carleton's having, I think maybe you shared it actually, that they're having open tryouts. Is that normal for them?
So I don't know. I
wasn't sure if that was like a regular occurrence or if we're kind of seeing like that program maybe struggle a little bit.
I don't know, because so one thing, there's one website, 49 Sportsnet, which is like the main website that like kind of covers university sports across Canada. They actually thought that like the guy that wrote an article previewing the OUA women's comp this year thought that the Ravens were actually going to be a bit stronger this year. So I don't know if it's just like a regular thing that they do. I think that they do it with a bunch of their sports. As a former GG, I'm okay with slandering the Ravens.
Yeah, I kind of like the narrative that they might be struggling.
In my next episode, I'll probably take the opposite position and just as I preview the Ravens season. Oh, I should probably cut this. Oh man. No,
I mean,
no,
on one hand, like it would be very exciting for them to be strong, stronger, just to have those rivalry games kind of like be more exciting. Since they're games that like I can actually attend. And then I think it's hard to say, like, looking right now, like what is going to be a good game and what's not until we kind of see like what the other programs are looking like. But I guess I would mark the home open, or not the home opener, the season opener on the 3rd. Just, it's exciting to finally like see them actually play. They had their training camp on August 20th, around then. Just exciting to see like what comes out of that, and their unfortunately extra long off season.
Okay, so we were talking about the Ottawa Carleton game. So something that I thought that would be fantastic for a long time is there's the Pandy game for football. And there's been the Capital Hoops Classic for like years as well. And they started like an Ottawa Carleton game. I don't know if it's men's and women's or just men's, but there's like the Colonel By Classic.
Yeah.
Like
the women's one has a different title, but yes. Yeah.
So like I think they should have a Pandy game, but like I guess would it be for men's? I don't know. I think it would be killer.
Yeah.
I think if you like did like a double bill with like an Atletico Ottawa game, just get like
in TD.
Yeah.
That would be actually electric. That would be so cool.
Like everyone who buys like a soccer Panda game ticket also gets a ticket to like Atletico Ottawa, and just have like 24,000 people watching 2 games of soccer.
We need to clip this and send it to who's in charge.
How do we do that?
I don't know.
You're smarter than I am. You know how these like I think you would know how these like how this works better than I do.
We need to send lots of emails and put it into action.
Okay. So that's our post podcast goal.
Yeah.
That's our homework for tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a co-advocate on this. This is excellent.
Yeah, that would be so cool. What
it would be so great.
Has nobody thought of this already?
I've brought it up before, and the 5 people that follow me like it, but we need to kind of like spread it out.
We got to do it for those people.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Zoom is going to kick us off soon, so I got one more question.
Okay.
I need some predictions for the season.
Oh God.
I'm putting you on the spot, and we're going to check this at the end of the season.
Okay.
What will their regular season record be? And okay, let's start there.
Okay, my initial response is to say that we're undefeated.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna go 10-2.
So like 10 wins, 2 losses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Not a undefeated season.
No. Some things make me a little nervous.
Interesting. I agree that they won't be undefeated. I'm not sure if they'll lose, but I don't think that they'll be undefeated. I think they might be like
I could definitely consider some ties in there.
Because like you kind of swayed me, because originally I was thinking like I think they might like lose once or twice as well, but like then you're talking about all these star players. I'm like,
there's too many good players. Actually,
they have so many good players, like
especially on defense now. I think like the addition of Trinity before was like great for our defense, but I still felt like it wasn't complete. But now we're getting like, okay, I changed my answer.
Okay, and will they qualify for the national championships in Quebec City?
They will this time. We're manifesting it now.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done. Manifest.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 10-0.
Excellent. And then qualifying.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah. Mark it. Write it down. I'll tweet it.
Done. All right. Before I let you go, are there any upcoming pieces or personal projects you'd like to plug? And where can people follow you and find your stuff?
Ooh, okay. My Instagram is j.mcknight08. I feel like I provide like every single update possible there, whether it's my writing, my Twitch, my existence, and my ultimate
you do exist in the world.
I do exist. It's true. So mainly everything's there. If you go on the Fulcrum website, which is just the fulcrum.ca, I'm pretty easy to find. I'm usually in the sports section, a little here and there in the arts section, news now, everything that with being co-EIC got more responsibilities. As for upcoming projects and things like that, nothing specific. I'm trying to graduate right now. I have 3 courses left. I really can't fail. But I'm sure that there will be a lot of content coming out on my Instagram. And if not on my Instagram, the links to those things will be on the Instagram.
Once again, that was my chat with Jasmine McKnight of the Fulcrum. I want to thank her for joining. Always a fantastic guest. And just to touch on once again that idea for a Panda Game style game between the GGs and Carleton Ravens women's teams. Seriously, how has this not been done yet? Like, if it has to do with an issue with scheduling, and that's just a bigger hurdle than it seems like to an outsider, I can understand that. But if no conversations have ever taken place about this, what are you doing? Like, if I'm someone from the OUA, U Sports, GGs or Carleton Athletic Departments, Athletico Ottawa, the CPL, I am writing an email, I'm getting on the phone, and doing whatever I can to make a double bill happen, like a Soccer Day in Canada type event. Because if you're not, are you against making money? Do you not want to set U Sports and CPL attendance records? I'm baffled. Just baffled. So yeah, advocating for this might be my new project. And I'm glad to have Jasmine on my side on this. On that note, though, that will do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you have a chance, please like, subscribe, any place you can do those things. And hey, if there's something you want to hear on the podcast, reach out, let me know. Until next time, my name is Josh. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you.